Right, ready to rock. Donncha!
Look at us.
Good to see you, man.
In studio.
It feels... Oh, there hit the television.
Yeah.
It looks... it feels weird.
It's great.
In person.
Yeah, delighted to. Because, look, both of us are busy, Tommy, so trying to catch up in person is difficult with logistics and stuff. But it's always nice to be in the room, and it does bring a bit of energy.
Well, Six Nations is coming up. Rugby is getting good. Obviously, a couple of great matches last weekend. Some great matches coming up this weekend as well. I feel I bumped into you today. We've had I was with Conor Murray, Trimble, Carney. Just bumped into David Kilcoyne for a coffee. This is the place to be with the rugby lads. Great.
Do you know what it is though? Maybe rugby lads are like hedgehogs. You know what I mean? So they hibernate away, and then I'm not going to say for the beautiful season, when there's a few quid around the place for the Six Nation, everyone's peering their head out going, ooh,
time to be remembered again. Any money going? Well, to be fair, you're not wrong, because it is kind of how I feel. I nearly wished I did hibernate, because the rugby in the first before Christmas is a bit.
Yeah, agreed.
Isn't it?
We used to have a brilliant fitness advisor. I remember Bryce Kavanagh once telling us about training loads during certain parts of the season, and he actually used that example of not hibernate, but like a close to a hibernation, if you know what I mean.
Why? What do you mean?
Like he was there. This time of the year isn't PB time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So all you're going to do is burn the boats, if you know what I mean. You're going to damage. So just stay clean. I actually think it's good advice. You know the way everyone chases January for the new you, new me, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just be tidy in January. Make sure that you can consistently go. And that's what he used to push. He was there, I don't need to see PBs now, but I do need a consistent...
Do you know, we had
training.
a fella, and it just shows that different trainers have different trains of thought.
Don't start.
Right?
Yeah.
Because your man Bryce there the whole time, all of a sudden the coach gets sacked, which we have to talk about with Scott Robertson leaving the All Blacks. But all of a sudden new coaches come in, new train of thought. I remember when, I think it was at the Ospreys, we went over there, and halfway through the season, he had us hitting PBs, like max squat, max bench. And you're kind of thinking, like, do I really need this right now? But he said, I'm building you up now so that you'll be feeling wrecked at the moment. You'll be feeling wrecked over the next couple of weeks, but you're going to get the benefit of this come April, May, when the end of the season comes. So, it's interesting, isn't it?
It is, but you only know it till you go too far, isn't it? Yeah. Like that World Cup. Do you remember that?
France in what, 07? Now we're going right back. But which World Cup?
Which World Cup? Take a pick out of any of the World Cups we've gone to. It's most likely that. But like, do you remember it, man? I remember us being like Spartans. Yeah. Everyone was PBing. Everyone was. And we just overcooked.
I know. We actually had Mary Lou McDonald from Sinn Féin on the show this week, and we were kind of saying, she was going on about, you know, I'm Sinn Féin or Poland well, or whatever else. We're like, you're like the Irish rugby team. Like, you're always great in the middle, but when it comes to actually the crunch, the World Cup or the actual election, that's when you can't get over it. Yeah. So anyway,
you have an interest in life, don't you? Like, genuinely, I thought it was great catching up with like Trimble and more, and there you are hanging on with Mary Lou.
From Mary Lou to assume with a journalist over in Greenland to try and what the hell's going on there, to then talk about the unlicensed amount of people who are using putting Botox that they don't even know what putting into their faces and stuff.
Wow,
bonkers.
How interesting.
Kids like
Botox.
So loads of teenagers.
Do you know what? It was quite popular in Worcester when I was there.
Get out.
You know the coffee and spray tans or coffee and sunbeds or whatever lads were doing.
That was part of the course, wasn't it, at one stage?
This became a thing in Worcester with a few of the lads that they'd go kind of, they kind of, you know, these lines, crow's feet or whatever they're called, they'd get tidied up or just get on top of them. The rugby lads did. Yeah.
Like, so, and was it a part, because I know over in England as well, didn't, like, once you retired, you were able to kind of get the hair done, and you were like to get the hair transplants and stuff, wasn't it?
We were chatting about that with Peter O'Mahony on the Exit Medical, and how in Ireland they go through everything you need and they'll tidy up everything so that you're kind of fit to live a healthy lifestyle afterwards, and it's really decent of them. But in Worcester, when I wrapped up my last season, they were like, lads, no more looking after the veneers and hair plugs. You know what I mean? We're done with that. That is a vanity project. We're here to fix your knees, your hips, your elbows, your shoulders, the stuff that you would have used. Now, it's legit if you probably, who was it at the weekend?
Knocked your teeth out or something.
One of the players got their, I think, was it one of the Northampton lads?
Did he?
Got the whole row knocked out. And played on, Tommy. I played the following week.
Get
it's
out.
Nut stuff, isn't it?
He played on after having his teeth knocked out.
Yeah. It's like the time we played in Claremont one time, and Ronan O'Gara went off because I told you this before. One of the blades of a stud, remember it bats or blades, caught his ear, and it was flopping down here as he was running across.
It's not that this happens all the time. That happened ROG, didn't it?
ROG, and he came back on, man.
No, he didn't.
He did, I promise you, and he steered the ship. We got a losing bonus point.
Got his ear stitched back on.
I don't even know that they stitch it back on at the time. Maybe they put whatever was in place but he came back on like a mummy, like he this big, like a scrum cap of taping.
Players nowadays are soft, aren't they? Because I remember there was a player, Kingy, who was playing. He was one of the young fellas of the Ospreys, and do you remember it was like, unless your arm is broken, you get yourself into the defensive line, no matter what. Like nowadays, you get concussed or whatever else.
Everyone's stopping it. Rightfully,
exactly. But back then it was different. It was literally, unless your arm is hanging off. We were playing and we were defending in our own 22, and Kingy made a tackle, and literally, obviously, whoever had tackled their arse, whatever, rubbed right off his ear, so literally ripped the ear off, and it was hanging by the earlobe.
It's so weird seeing it.
But he was like on the ground holding it, right, and I'm on the wing and 13, so I'm there going, Katie, get up, get in the fucking line, and like roaring at him, and he's looking back at me going, my ear. It's like, get. So he got back into the defensive line, right, and I couldn't see it. He went and made another tackle. Anyway, the play eventually stopped, and he went down, and then all of a sudden you could see it, and I was like, oh, wow. The whole place was like,
you're bawling your eyes out, apologising. I'm so sorry.
Do you remember the old magazines like Nuts or Zoo? Yeah. Like the following week, right, they had a picture of his ear as kind of the goriest picture to these things. Send in, you get 200 quid if you can send in your.
Here's you in the background going,
get in the line, get in the line. Oh, I felt so bad. But you know, talk about that, the crow's feet and the tan or whatever else. I'll never forget when I first went to the Ospreys, and I probably told you this story, like that. Obviously, the Welsh lads loved to spray tan. And I remember
I always got on well with those lads.
You're looking a bit pale at the minute. Actually, could do it. Maybe
I need to get on to bowling.
But we flew over to Munster one time. I'll never forget it. We flew over the day before a match, and Mike Phillips, and I probably should name all that.
Don't worry about it. We all know them.
Hooky, all that boys. Anyway, they all went downstairs into the Castle Troy, into the beauty salon, and booked themselves in for the spray tans.
Wow.
And I'll never forget, like, we went out, 3 of them got the spray and tan, 2 of them had to be put back till after the captain's run. But I remember we were running a back line, and you're meant to have a shower after it to kind of wash it off. But
so I've heard.
The colour on the 2 lads, like it was literally rubbing off on the rugby ball. Like they're passing it round Thomond, and people were looking, who are these lads? So listen, that was years ago. Botox is obviously the way forward nowadays.
That was that tour in 2009. So normally what would go on, there would be a kind of, within the team room there'd be a whiteboard, and you'd put up, going to the cinema tonight, heading along to see whatever
Titanic.
Yeah, who's interested, 7 o'clock, and the names would go down, or a game of poker, or a game of cards, or
sightseeing, whatever
Monopoly, yeah. But I remember Lee Byrne came in and put up spray tans tomorrow. Janice in the saloon is going to work on and spray lads down. And I'm there, fucking genius. What a great flag. You know what I mean? Bernie, what a beauty. And then honestly, all of a sudden, like,
his name, initials were all going down.
Starts coming in. Oh, beautiful, spray tans tonight, boys.
And Powley all over it. I mean, I'll have the darkest you can find. I remember, like, he used to go in and get the spray tan, wasn't happy with it, and asked him, go again.
Go again, keep going.
Go again. Double coat me, please.
Just on the injuries, I remember at one training session, Gavin Duffy,
Remember
the duffer,
Gav, in Connacht.
he split his bottom lip, and I don't know in some way have I got the vision right, but you know the way the Predator looks, that like you can see more teeth than you should, and there's things flapping around the place. So the doc went over to assess him and was there, okay, you're okay. And then Gavin said he saw me come over. I turned green. I was there like this. Oh God! I was. He's gone. That's the end of your duffer. He was there. Am I all right? I was there. No, you're not, man. You're fine.
You'll be able to eat that Big Mac later.
I was there with the paddles. Time of death. Calling it now, duffer. You're over. But it's mad how like an untrained eye. I'm there like
exactly.
But as well, the point about it being tough and getting back into it. We played against Italy. And I came on and I hit my hand trying to make a tackle off the back of John Hayes' back, and I compound fractured that
came out.
That bone came out there. So when I went to the next, I didn't realise it. You know the way, I don't know, it just didn't cop onto it. But I went to the next ruck and we used to put our hands up a pillar. So I went, pillar. And you know the way something just is like, you're like, there was this unbelievably shiny thing up on my hand. I was like, what is that? It was so shiny. It was my bone, Tommy. It looked like I had 6 fingers. I was sticking it out there at the end going, and then I saw it and you know, when everything starts going slow and I'd be kind of squeamish. I can't watch ER or any of that stuff. So I was there like this, oh no, I'm gone. I remember Gary O'Driscoll came out and popped it back in. He was there, okay, keep going, we'll fix it afterwards. I was there, Gary, get me off the pitch as quickly as possible. I was there, we need a proper medic. He was like, I'm telling you, you're fine, man. It's a compound fracture. We'll fix it up in a while.
Did you not notice that it had come out of your skin?
I did at the.
But before seeing it?
No, before seeing it, I didn't. You know, the adrenaline and the buzz and everything. Like you're playing there in the Olympic Stadium.
I'm on the wing, man. I don't have any of that. I'm like, literally, I fail it.
You should have seen me afterwards, because then they scored at the death and they had a conversion and I knew the game was over. And I ran to get down the tunnel to Gary as quickly as I could have blocked the kick if I was arsed. You know what I mean? But I just ran straight past it. I was there like, fix my hand.
I'm going to try and outdo that again. And this is not me that happened to. I'm not going to name who it happened to as well, but Ulster against Leinster years ago.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Yes.
Yeah, go on, tell the story.
And somebody in a tackle, a stud went amiss in a ruck. And all of a sudden, the ruck dispersed, and all of a sudden there was a bit of a. I'm pretty sure play stopped, right?
Yeah. And there's only one thing play stops for.
So then all of a sudden, like play was kept on going, and all of a sudden, then the doctor was called over, and whoever it was, the person was kind of like going, I think I need to come off, and say to the doctor, what's wrong? And he kind of opened up his shorts to let the doc look down. That they're.
The note was out, wasn't it?
Had left the building.
They could see, oh my God. Yeah, apologies to anyone that's listening that is screaming.
Sorry for this.
Like,
but
enjoy your breakfast.
But had to be like, so it was kind of like, there's something not right here. And you imagine how squeamish you'd be feeling when you looked down and you saw that one.
There's things you should never see though. Like that's what I realised about seeing my bone.
I would like to know what it looks like.
You're
the bone or the other bone.
Either way, I never want to see it, isn't it? It's a bit, sorry, this is a terrible pivot, but like labour, you know, the labour. Did you ever hear that line? Oh, was it Robbie Williams saying, what was the labour like? He was like, it's like watching your favourite local pub getting burned to the ground. And I remember my brother Ulti was telling me, he's our Dunners, stay up north. He was out, like you've no business anywhere else. Up screen. You know what I mean? Like that's advice you could ever get.
Did you not go to the game then? No.
No. I was there. I was like, honestly, Jen, do you know I did a terrible thing during Jenny's labour? Stupid. This is stupid. I compared labour to pre-season. Right. On Sophie, I was there, Jen, I know this is tough one, right? But I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. You know what I mean? It's going to get tough at times, but you got to battle through it pre-season. Here we go. Honestly, about 12 minutes into I was bawling my eyes out. I was like, you're fucking amazing, Jenny. This is nothing like pre-season.
I was there trying to feed Lucy Jaffa cakes, going, listen, this is going to be a long stint. You need to get the energy in. She was like, get away from me with this. So I started eating them. I thought I was there for the long stint.
Well, no, I didn't get it any bit right with Sophie. And you know the tea and toast they all go on about.
Yeah.
They landed it down. I was there. I haven't eaten in about 8 hours. I was there like, thank you. They were like, that's not for you. I was there. I don't give a shit. Keep it coming.
You ate the tea and toast. Anyway, the ball was put back in position as far as I know. But imagine the doctor having to go out and literally, I just remember nobody knew why the game had stopped. We were all kind of like. And the doctor came out, and then the shorts went out.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like you just saw them. So the person who it happened to, like, had to get a little sock. So they got a sock made. I don't know who made it for them, but it was like a sock that they had, and then with a string, like a lace around it. So the lace would go around the top of the sock, and you tie it around your waist.
It's like
and it was like a kind of like a little holder.
Don't they have them in like baseball and stuff, little cups or stuff like that?
Yeah.
Because I remember I had a really bad cauliflower ear for a while, and they came with one of those cups, and they were like, we got it from a kind of baseball store. I was there like, that is for like,
right,
you know what I mean?
Your balls.
You're meat and veg, and you're putting it on my ear.
That's like a cricket cup.
Exactly,
yeah, right.
I know those
they
were going around. They were like, I honestly, I would have been better off. You know, the dogs wear those lampshades. trying to train with one of those. For fuck's sake.
Right, I don't know how we even got onto this conversation. We need to talk about Scott Robertson. We need to talk about the rugby at the weekend, and we do also need to talk about the live show for those people who are coming along to watch us. I think Dublin is down to the last few tickets.
Dublin. Good
to
on
come
you.
and watch us in the Olympia. Obviously, Belfast is sold out. We're delighted with that. There are tickets still available for Limerick and for Cork, so please do get on to Ticketmaster to check those out.
Yeah.
And please do come along. We've actually some great guests.
We've delighted in Limerick. We have the great Keith Earl, so can't wait to catch up with
Legend
Keith
of the
Earl.
land, yeah.
And then in Cork, we are catching up with Cork's finest, Simon Zebo. We've a few more guests as well. We'll leave them know as we go along, but they're two great ones. So Cork, Limerick, get involved. We'd love to see.
Be great crack. Okay, right. Let's move on to some news then this week. So Scott Robertson.
Wow.
Departing the All Blacks.
Incredible.
That's like, there was a rumour going around that Ardy Surveyor was going to Leinster, right? I just thought this was having a laugh.
Yeah, because they need a world-class 8.
Oh, exactly. Can you imagine if you're Conan and Doris will go, are you, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to happen. But Scott Robertson, right? So I thought that was in the similar vein, right?
Yeah.
Ardy Surveyor going to Leinster, that can't be true. Then all of a sudden rumours coming out that due to a really bad interviews with all the players.
Yeah, they did what we did post those World Cups. Do you remember them? They did a kind of survey of the players to just see the general state of it. Like, isn't it amazing? What we see as a crisis is underperforming at World Cups and stuff. New Zealand lose 3 games in the year, and they're having one of these crisis.
So is that the levels what's happened here? Because I'm just trying to look up exactly how, because they're second in the world.
Yeah, 100%. They lost 3 games last year, Tommy, and it is in their pursuit, as always, as All Blacks, to be excellent. That is not good enough as an All Black.
Losing to England was a big one. You could tell, and they kind of bigged that up at the time as being a bad one. But in general, over the autumn, they beat Ireland, beat Scotland, beat Wales, and of course lost England. So 1 loss in 4 there.
Yeah.
But the big one was the Rugby Championship. But still, they came second in that.
And Eden Park, they done South Africa. You know what I mean? With them coming loaded and picking it.
It's an odd one for me. Like, it's kind of going to this whole player power thing.
Yeah.
And I just think of like, listen, we know who knows what's going on behind the scenes. But whenever I know that Luke McDonald, who was one of the behind the scenes coaches, and Jason Holland, who was there as well. So both of them left, which kind of gave the feeling that there's something not right behind the scenes here.
And there was always the kind of rumours of that there felt like a bit of a Crusaders, because that's where he came and had all his success. I think he won 7 championships with the Crusaders.
Success with the Crusaders. Down the Rugby Championship.
I was lucky enough to be involved with a Baba squad that he was one of the coaches on. He was incredible. It really was. Just, I know it's easy on a Baba's weekend, isn't it? You know what I mean? To kind of get that level across. But I think what probably happened there was loads of rumours along the way of the year of little kind of things. There was the coaches in that side of it. And then, do you remember quite early on, he was a bit different about maybe getting the players back from overseas.
Yeah.
And if you're a Kiwi applying your trade down there, following all the rules, and you're hearing, well, does he fancy someone like him?
Bringing them back from Japan, where as opposed to picking players who are just based in New Zealand.
Yeah. But you asked the question, and I'd love to flesh it out a little bit. Like, player power is so important.
And we see it in football a lot. Like, we're seeing that the players, and I've heard this from people who are involved in football, they can pretty much stage, because they're worth so much money, they can stage a revolt and actually just down tools.
Yeah.
Where in rugby, you would never think of a team downing tools because they don't like the coach.
Yeah.
But I'm not suggesting, of course, that New Zealand down tools, but
no,
the players obviously were very, like, how can a coach who is so highly rated, who has done unbelievable things with club like Crusaders, where the majority of the New Zealand team have come from, then go to New Zealand and then, like, I honestly, I'm bit puzzled by this.
Same here. And from everything we hear about him, an incredible man, you know what I mean, an incredible coach. The one thing I'll say on that, though, is people, and we know it, the difference in level when you step up to international level. You can be a good club player, but at an international level, it is, honestly, it's like Ferrari cars everywhere, isn't it? It's just, it's so fast, it's so quick.
Totally, yeah.
And you
but he's not playing.
I know that, but you need to have the answers in real time, and it's a challenging room as well, isn't it?
True.
You need to be kind of sure to what you're about. I do find it odd. I think it's the closest thing we've ever seen to kind of soccer move, especially because in rugby, New Zealand are Brazil, if you know what I mean. Like,
big time.
For them to flop,
for them to do it,
2 years before a World Cup. So, like, who are you likely to put in place now? Everyone will want that job, and we might go through some of them, but like that's the mothership, isn't it?
Big time. Like the scrutiny that comes with being the All Blacks head coach, yes, but the level of player and ability that they have. Now, they didn't look vintage All Blacks. They didn't look like they were playing well.
Yeah.
But like, you talked to O'Gara about his stint down with Razor, down in the Crusaders. Like, he just speaks so highly of him.
Yeah.
So just for such a superpower like the All Blacks to make such a big rash move 20 months out from the Rugby World Cup, I just think I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Obviously, just, you know, the board or whatever were well informed and decided, because there'd be a big payout in this as well. Like, financially, this would be a huge hit for them.
Think of that, but I've always felt it, Tommy. You do want the player's voice. You do want their opinion. It needs to be handled the right way. You need the mature senior group. You need the proper leaders to nearly make sure what's the difference between bitching and whinging and actually, getting us right towards now. Because, I do you remember that World Cup survey? I remember I had to do that World Cup survey. I met there was a lady doing it with me, and she went through this kind of, it was nearly like a questionnaire. I met her in the Rochestown Park in Cork.
Right.
And I bawled my eyes out. I genuinely...
After which World Cup now?
If I can pick any of them.
But did you... Because I actually don't think I ever got to do any of these surveys.
Did you not?
I never asked
one,
me.
in
Surprise,
07 and 11.
Did you, right?
All the questions are kind of leading, you know what I mean? And they are looking for they're 100% hearing you, but like the way it was kind of going... It's like, who's at fault?
Okay.
And you're always going to find fault if you're kind of looking for it. And
were you honest?
100% honest.
Was it
that's why
confidential? Like, was it your name wasn't attached to it?
100%. But I wouldn't have had a problem, genuinely. I've always said it, when in our team environments, I've never had a problem putting my name on the sheet. I think if you live by honesty, you gotta have that.
But there's a difference though in being honest with each other, but also there probably was some things that were wrong, and some players that maybe, you know, weren't living by maybe the values that you would have expected. That
agreed.
You know, you would only feel maybe comfortable. Yeah,
but this is an outsider looking for a kind of. What was the problem?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're looking for the kind of one bullet point. Mm-hmm. It was the players. It was the management. It was the logistics. You know, and that might be the finding. But I remember, like, and that's honestly, I'm not saying that I'm not an emotional person, but I remember at one point I was there, like, do you think we didn't fucking try?
Yeah, I know.
You know, and she was there, listen, I'm just asking the questions. I was there, we went out there, all of us, to give it our all. We just came up. And then she was there, like, and then she was there, well, what was the areas that I was, I don't know. I don't. And I remember reading we got the kind of findings of it back, and one of the big things was that the players could do with kind of emotional support in around it for the highs and lows. And I was there, it's actually quite apt, because I threw everything into that and
into the exit questionnaire.
Yeah.
Do you know what annoys me nowadays is that those things happen now and we're not privy to what happened. So with Nusa4 and the last couple of World Cups, the interviews have gone out and their findings have been found, but the media or nobody's allowed to know about it.
I love that. I think dead right. You should know their business.
Well, as supporters, I'd like to know. I'd like to know what they think.
No, you'd like to know what they're doing on Saturday, man. All you judge them on is their performance.
Yeah, but because I don't know, then it's there for me to speculate what I think, which then we know the Irish rugby team hate for us to do.
You watch Love Island or something. If you're looking for gossip and it to turn into a sitcom, they're running it like a professional setup. No one outside. I'm actually glad no one knows.
This is my Love Island nowadays. This is where I get my kicks. I want to know what's going on in the Casa Amor.
Yeah. But I do feel, honestly, Tommy, I do think keeping it kind of internal. But I wouldn't be surprised with Razor if he saw the report and went to them and said, well, looking at this, man, I can't go on, because they all feel like that.
Yeah, well, that's very true. Yeah, because I'd say it would cut him deep. How can I trust these players if they don't buy into what I want them to do?
Yeah. And it can be difficult, can't it, to actually have the fucking balls to put your hand up and go, I'm not your man.
You're losing the dressing room. Do you know what I mean? If you lose the dressing room, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And you hear about it more in football, I think, than in other sports. I was just reading today, Harlequins, of course, are on the lookout for Robertson, because he's going to be a coach that's going to be mega in demand, even despite what's happened there.
100%. That is the hottest property in world rugby walking out the door.
Yeah, but this has tarnished that. Like, there's question marks. Well, I just wonder. I wonder. I really do. Right.
Well, one for me is Jason Holland, right? Like, I was lucky enough to play with Jason Holland and be around him. But like, if Sochi found an environment difficult, I'm there like, wow. You know what I mean? Or just him even stepping away from something that he absolutely loves. Maybe I don't know the ins and outs of it, but when you see the kind of values and the intellect and the standards that he has, that he's willing to move away from something, I'm telling you, man, that is his.
Wow. Well, there you go. That's very telling as well. Yeah. And Leon McDonald as well, another coach who's really highly rated down in New Zealand as well. So, and the fact that loads of senior players have left to go off to play in Japan. And
just one thing though, Tommy, we don't need to look for blood here, do we? Like, it can be all right, can't it? That group of players and Razor move away. That they
it can once they bring in the right next coach, and that's where I want to bring the conversation to. Right? Why
do you want shitstorm right now?
Well, because there's definitely a clause in his contract that this ROG will definitely be ROG's name's thrown in the mix for every one of the jobs.
Ballymun kickers, ROG's name's in.
Clayton McMillan with Munster. Like, don't act surprised, because you know it. You're fearful of this because, listen, he came over. He was head coach of the Chiefs, who are doing really well over in New Zealand. He left, obviously, to get some experience away from home. But there is a clause in his contract about the New Zealand job. As little as an opportunity as we ever thought that was going to be. But all of a sudden, that spot is open now. And he's definitely going to be asked about it.
Oh, of course. And like, you never want to hold people back. And this happened with Munster before, one with Razzie, you know what I mean, who had time to, and also Johan van Gran, he was contracted, and then the opportunity with Bat came up. So
Jesus, Munster, right? So Razzie, Van Gran were all contracted and now Clayton, right?
But when you're chatting, remember you were kind of making the United slag a little bit. For that playing group, I think it's really important that they do have consistency. And maybe that is, like, it's funny you said it there the other day about ROG coming back, but I wonder, is Clayton McMillan now in our system, and should we be Like, now that you know that others are going to kind of come looking for him, and of course they would, and of course he'd think of it. You know what I mean? He's a pro. It's a bit like, remember the fuss with Jacques about would he come back to South Africa?
Jacques Nienaber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, he'll always want to. That's where he's from, exactly, and it's the greatest honour you could probably have to represent. So you don't want to kind of make it on them, but I do think if there's a kind of 5 or a 6 year plan that they're a part of, and it's tied in with, and I'm going to say the RFU, that they kind of see, okay, maybe 4 years to turn the tide with Munster, get them back to where we need to be, and then is he someone that we're looking at in a national role?
From his point of view, if the All Blacks potentially come looking, he's kind of thinking, do I really want to turn down the All Blacks for 4 more years at Munster? Or is David Humphreys now kind of thinking, like, do I have to look at upgrading him and giving him the carrot of who knows in 2027 if things go well or don't go well for Ireland, this is your opportunity, because he doesn't know what Andy Farrell's going to do either. We don't know whether he'll get, but they're all going to be up for like it's really upset the apple cart here a little bit.
One move has, honestly, because everyone's jumping around to get Razor, and now everyone else is not willing to jump, but I've no doubt in every coaching agent on the thing is there ringing them saying, I've dropped the CV, and you know what I mean? There's no doubt in that. I would be gutted for Munster, I have to say, if it happened, because I do think that this guy, even their performance against Toulon last weekend, and the fact that they lost was heartbreaking, and particularly in the manner that they lost, that penalty at the end was a joke. But I still think it was they've pulled out a couple of big performances this year, like to beat Leinster in Croke Park, to go to Toulon, who are a top team in the French league. And I just think like that he is building something, like, and they're still a long way off, but I do think he has something going from there. I agree. He's just looked under the hood now. That's the point we're at. But that could make him even more vulnerable, though. You know what I mean? If he probably sees, you know, the pipeline or the budget he's got to spend.
Well, he's probably getting, he's in meetings at the moment being told, right, this is your budget for next year. You're losing Jean Klein. Yeah. Like, he's probably thinking, well, okay, Jean Klein, international second row, I want to replace with a similar standard or better, really better. Yeah. And all of a sudden, if he's hearing from Munster, well, we can't really, because I mean, you're talking like to get a big top quality second row now, you're talking $500,000 plus, you know, like it's mega money. So
I was underpaid.
Yeah, I know you were. Well, with me and Paul O'Connell, you were just a second. You were
Robin. But
you just came as part of the deal.
Exactly it. Yeah. I don't know how to answer it, right? Because I wouldn't begrudge him in any way.
No,
I can totally understand it, but just with a selfish Munster hat on, I would really hope he would stay. You know what I mean? Because I think he's the man. I've spoke to you about that before. I think he's culturally perfect. I think his values are so sound. I love how brutally honest he is in appraisal. Yeah. But like that, I think maybe if that conversation does take place, it can't be in silos of kind of Munster work. And I think that needs big thinking. I think the RFU needs to come around that as well and just kind of go, okay, how do we steady all this so that we know that, you know, there's progression into where these kind of...
He'd probably, like, exactly. I'd just say from an RFU point of view, they have to kind of keep the carrot out there, because if they come looking, it would be very hard to turn it down. And of course, you wouldn't begrudge them that as well. Right, let's talk about the matches this weekend. Obviously in the Champions Cup, Bayonne against Leinster. Leinster are playing to try and get top 2 so they can almost be at home all the way through to the semi-final.
They can only get to 19 points. So there's mathematically, it's a wild weekend, isn't it?
It's a wild, like, it's amazing. Like,
the best way to describe it is only 2 teams are out. In that, isn't it? Bayonne are out.
Bayonne and Claremont.
Like, imagine to be going into the last week and there's only 2 dead ducks.
Well, and I know that's a bit farcical, right?
It is a complete joke.
But at least it puts something on this last weekend of matches. Like, from Munster's point of view, right? Munster are 4th in their pool at the minute.
Yeah.
they could top the pool.
Home all the way.
And be home.
Yeah.
Or they could, I think
they could be out.
They could be out of the draw completely.
It's like the ultimate game of Jenga last weekend. It makes absolutely no sense. That's what they should do. They should put everyone in the room and get all of them to play Jenga to see who goes through.
I would watch that. I fucking love Jenga. Right, so two of the teams obviously that can't qualify, Bayonne and Claremont. Leinster play against Bayonne away from home. A beautiful part of the world down there as well.
I'm still scarred over it. Did you play the Battle of Bayonne?
Oh, sure. I was on the bench, told I wasn't going to the Rugby World Cup, was on the bench, and then Drico got clocked.
Oh my God. Drico got non-stop clocked all the time.
There was a few other injuries, so then I got brought off the bench. Tommy's not going to the World Cup, bring him on.
Brilliant. You and Willie Bennett were on for Drico.
Exactly. I was like, Brian Carney, all the lads who were going to the World Cup are on the bench here. Would you not bring them on? It was showing a sacrifice.
Just to give a bit of context, we played Bayonne in a warm-up match before the World Cup, and to be fair, France were in our group, so they decided it was a kind of take scalps. And
it was like a Bayonne referee, Bayonne touch judges.
It was Wayne Barnes. It was Wayne Barnes. I remember at one point, genuinely running across the pitch, and Drico just got floored. Some fella just ran up and absolutely hit him a haymaker. Like, it was break his jaw, get him. It was over the top. And I remember, honestly, Paul chatting to Wayne Barnes, and he was there. Paul, I genuinely can't see everything that's going on here, like, you know what I mean? It is, and it was a brawl.
It was close to us walking off the pitch, was it not?
Yeah, it was. It was the only time in any rugby game I've ever played in that we didn't clap the opposition off from under eights up in the high field. Yeah,
stomach is rumbling here. Sorry,
that's making you hungry.
You never clapped, so we just walked straight into the dress. I remember Eddie was furious.
Eddie was going nuts, and then
losing Drico, like going into a World Cup. Your star player is
losing you or me, man. Losing Drico was kind of. Anyways, do you know what? Oh, then I did media afterwards. Of course, who will we put out after it? And I said, looking at it, it probably isn't. And like everything I said, I think I was chatting to Jerry Thornley, and everything I said I would stand by, but it was the way it looked, kind of headline wise. O'Callaghan questions fixture. You know what I mean? Like basically saying that.
Fair enough.
100% it, but I didn't know that it was. I wasn't pointing it at
Eddie.
I remember we were out in the City West, and I got to. Yo, come here. I was there, for fuck. I was there like, you have a fucking problem with the fixtures, I saw you. I was there, and he was just saying that if we played one of the provinces, man, they wouldn't have kicked the shit. He lifted me. Oh my God. Yeah.
So you saved that for the exit questionnaire. There you go, Eddie.
He was grand at the World Cup, right? The pre-season before we left, he gave me a bit of a bollocking.
Right, so Leinster literally go to Bayonne, the Battle of Bayonne, take two. I mean, literally, Bayonne have nothing to play for as well, so they might be out. And Leinster, yes, can get to 19 points. At the moment, Glasgow have an opportunity to get to 20 points.
How dangerous will they be?
And Bordeaux have an opportunity to get to 20 points. So they're the two teams that Leinster really have to keep an eye out for.
But imagine both those teams home all the way. Like Glasgow would be difficult, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But they'd be the ones that you wanted as opposed to Bordeaux. Holy shit, they look impressive, don't they?
They do. They honestly, they ripped Northampton one.
Unbelievable. To think that was last year's final.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just unbelievable. My God.
How good was Pollock, though, to be fair?
Pollock, yeah.
So
isn't he? Because he's not that big.
No, he's not that bad, but he's explosive, isn't he? And I hear about all these kind of scores in his training. He's meant to be fairly freakish. Do you know what I noticed, though? Do you know the way he's getting booed and people?
Yeah.
Is there a turn at the moment that we want our sports stars as baddies? Like Luke Littler, Henry Pollock. Should you embrace? Like, I'm wondering for Jack Crowley, does he dye his hair? Does he start smoking cigarettes, wear earrings, and say, "I don't give a shit if I play a team"? You know what I mean?
No,
and just,
that's Harry Byrne.
Harry Byrne. Someone needs to be a baddie, man.
He needs an earring.
Yeah, we're all like, yes, I'm with the bad guy.
I think Harry Byrne should go pierce his ears, exactly. Then it's like good against evil. Who's going to get the nod?
Exactly.
I don't give a shit.
A t-shirt. or can I kick it?
Yeah. Pick me if you want, Farrell. Give me that ball.
Frosty.
You're actually like, but people love the whole good again. Like, we love rivalries.
Well, I just saw
Pollock,
it.
exactly.
I saw it at the moment. We're mad for a baddie. I think give him what they want.
Pollock is the man for it. Like, you see his first score, chipped it over, class, regathered it, took it off Penno. Penno, like, no interest.
Yeah.
And then the Chris Ashton swan dive wasn't quite as impressive. But then kicked it into the crowd and gave the old fingers on the pulse.
It'd be nice if he held a kick-off after it, though. You know, but they're the levels, aren't they, Tommy? Like, they're the ones that, like, and then again, he's 20, man. He's 20.
No, he's not.
That's all he is. He's 20 years of age.
Holy shit,
he's about to turn 21. I think his 21st is over the next while. We just kind of got to give him the space as well to be incredible.
I just think as a number 8, he doesn't look that big, but I
don't think he's
fair play.
Honestly, he's like a 6, 7, 8.5, isn't he? He does everything.
So that's the way it looks for Leinster to get through to the next stage. Well, they're pretty much through to the next stage. But this whole Munster one is very interesting.
Well, that whole group is live, isn't it?
So Munster are 4th behind Toulon, Edinburgh, Bath. They're the top 4. Obviously Gloucester and Cast. So at least Munster are at home and they're playing against Cast.
Yeah.
But like, can you fathom if Cast were to turn up, which... listen, who knows what's going to happen? But if Munster didn't qualify in a competition where you say you only need one win, like, you know, you make the whole pool stage laughable.
Yeah.
Like, it would be some kick in the teeth, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. It really would. But then that's like, I know this sounds nuts, but I remember the emphasis, like chatting about ROG's ear there. Claremont, 1 point to walk away with that. There's days don't go your way and you have to find and grab something. And for me, the rollover and bat just wasn't good enough. And I love that Clayton said that afterwards.
Yeah.
You have to find a way to get something out of it. I remember like the likes of Anthony Foley going, we're playing for a point here, lads.
Yeah.
And then you'd get back in, you'd score 4 and he's there, let's get within 7 here. If we can get out of here with 2. You know what I mean? And you bleed, you don't die. And I think Munster shouldn't look, if that was the case at the last game, they should look at the other performances where you need to pick up points. But then again, I must say, with the Toulon performance, I love that. At the death, they knew, like, taking us out of 7 there, we came away with a point that mattered.
I was going to say that. Like, that was a big moment.
Oh, it was. Jack Crowley, brilliant.
Like, for them to lose that penalty, you know, sickened. But then the defence to hold them out to get that losing bonus point, I thought was really, really impressive.
Can I make a point? Stuff. And you're going to say red hat a little bit, right? Millen's penalty, absolutely crazy. O'Connor's penalty, trying to rob the ball at the ruck, really stupid, really silly. Nankiville's yellow card, daft, so crazy, trying to lift the ball off the ground like that. But I believe Tyke Byrne is getting targeted a little bit unfairly and harshly. I've looked at 3 of his yellow cards this year. I don't think they're. The one against Bath, he's coming in the side, fair enough. That's a penalty, Max. You're chatting to your leader. Straight away he's sent to the bin. This weekend,
I think he's overcompensating and going for everything and slowing it down. And he's unbelievable. Like, some of the poaches he's getting, some of the penalties are phenomenal how he's doing it. But he's nearly, it's too much.
No, I don't agree.
I think it is too much.
He's all to the wall, I think. And that's where you pick him. I do think he misses the likes of Pete that can kind of manage the kind of ref around him and talk to him or even nearly support him.
It's hard for him as captain.
100%. Because what he needs is nearly a shocked face of, you're sending him off for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Of like, are you free? I do think Tyke's getting a tough time, and you're not going to like hearing it, but I've always felt that we are the worst ref team in Europe. We genuinely, that last penalty is...
that was a shocker. It was a shocker.
But like, Tommy, it's all on that man. Like, forget about players and his professional business, but the amount of people that travelled over there for those occasions as well. And it's always Munster. Like, who plays with 13 men? Munster.
Munster beat La Rochelle last year away from home, remember?
I know that, but who also got fucked over against the Stormers and had to play with 13 players? Who also had that in Dublin against Leinster last year? We are the worst ref team. And you know, all the journalists that go out looking and cheerleading and stuff, do a bit of work into that. Discipline on how Munster are treated, because it is absolutely a joke shop. It really is.
Okay. Well, if you were in the Munster setup, right, what do you think the coaches would be saying? That's something that's out of your control, how you referee.
No,
so
but
you're giving the wrong picture to the referee.
No.
I actually think it's not just a Munster thing. I think Leinster's discipline at the minute. Like Joe McCarthy's, he's had 2 yellow cards the last 2 matches. And you compare that to Will Skelton last weekend.
Yeah,
but Skelton is so big. He has spotted everything he does, but he treads that line so well.
I must say, I was annoyed with that ref as well. Like, he's not there to coach Will Skelton. He's not there to say, leave it now, Will. Yeah. Or, you know what I mean? Or put him down, Will.
But see, that's what Tyke Byrne is going. Tyke Byrne's going in, taking the ball. Referee could be shouting at him. He doesn't care. He's on it.
But what I'm finding is, okay, that's penalty number 1. But Tyke's getting yellow carded on pen 1.
Because it's too much. He's doing it too often.
Yeah, but he's
known.
Yeah, I know that, but that's my point. Preconceived ideas about him are coming in before the match.
He needs to be aware of that.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt in it.
But be squeaky clean.
But then are you reffing what's happening, or are you reffing what you have a perception of before going into the game? I agree with you, Tommy. Irish discipline at the moment is an absolute disgrace.
Issue.
I do think it's been led, and you're going to go, but Leinster's ability at swinging in at those rucks has led to this ugly sight of the game. And I'm a big fan of it, win at all costs. But I think it has just thrown up too many red flags now at the moment. It's the biggest thing for Andy Farrell to get it under control when they walk in the door. Discipline.
Against France this weekend, or in a couple of weeks' time, like, they're going to have to be on it. Mind you, you look at Toulouse, and there's so many French players within that Toulouse setup, you kind of wonder, are they maybe the team that we should be so worried about? Right, let's move just quickly to the Challenge Cup. Connacht are obviously, they're 4th in the group as well. Jeez, they were away from home against Montpellier. They were home and hosed, and Montpellier came back, scored 3 tries. This is happening too much, too often for Connacht. It was the Ospreys
as well, wasn't it? The exact same, good lead, and then just
leaving. I think they've lost their last 4 matches. So they have Montauban this weekend on Saturday at 8 o'clock, and I think Montauban are bottom of that group. They'd expect to get the win, and they should then qualify, but they'll probably away from home. Ulster, I've got Stade Francais. Ulster, obviously, that was some farce over in Amsterdam.
Have you any insight into it? So obviously the game was meant to be played. It was freezing. Couldn't play there. Moved it to an indoor place?
No. So Cheetahs obviously are part of the Challenge Cup now. I don't know why they're not even in the URC.
Yeah, it's been
I mean, it's a bit mental. And then why in the Champions Cup, if you're playing against the Bulls, you have to fly down to Pretoria or you have to fly down to Durban to play against the Sharks, for instance. But when it's the Cheetahs, they have to play up in the Northern Hemisphere and playing out in Amsterdam. Now, no one knew that this dump of snow was coming in, but loads of South African supporters bought tickets to go to Amsterdam. Ulster supporters bought tickets to go to Amsterdam. Game got cancelled because of got moved to a rugby club pitch. And to be fair, it looked like the pitch was fine, but I gather it was still really frozen. And the referee deemed it okay to play. But both teams came out and said, listen, this isn't safe.
Yeah.
So because Cheetahs, it's a technically home match for them, even though it's in a different country and the other side of the world, they then got given, well, I'm sorry, it's up to the home team. You lose the game and forfeit the 5 points. So listen, it's a win, mega win for Ulster.
Unbelievable. Great.
In a busy period.
Agreed. And I know the logistics of travelling and all over there, but not taking load, not taking bangs, knocks, stuff like that, and coming away with 5 points.
Yeah.
Take it.
You couldn't get it much better. So this weekend then, Ulster play against Stade Francais. Stade Francais are top of that group. Ulster are second. So it's in...
we're at home.
Tallaght Stadium, so it's going to be a cracker. So I'm actually going to that. Will you go to the Munster match?
I will go to the Munster match. I think Jake and Mary are heading up with me. So
it's going to be a cracker. Yeah. All right, well, lots to look forward to this weekend. It's great to see you, man.
Yes, likewise, Tommy. We get a brew. We go see what other elephant graveyards are out there.
We've got a really exciting guest coming up on the podcast next weekend.
Yes, looking forward to it.
The Irish captain is going to come in and
talk to us.
I don't know.
I don't know. Fuck it. Let's go for it. Yes, Caelan Doris.
No, we didn't know who it was. It could have been anyone. Anyway.
You better ring Andy Farrell and tell him we picked him as skipper for the Six Nations. Yeah, we can't wait.
Looking forward to catching up with him as well.
Yeah, if you have a few questions, bunk some into us.
Do get that
Barely
in,
remember the questions ourselves.
Listen, we'll throw something out there ourselves. Right, Donncha, happy days. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of The Offload. Again, we do ask if you want to go down and watch us in Munster, in Thomond, in Limerick or in Cork. Check it out at ticketmaster.ie. The Offload live in March. See you then. Cheers, man.